Well, Grandma's off to another movie today. Doesn't have any monsters in it. Doesn't have any superheroes. It's not even animated. There's no cartoon characters to be found. No, this is Rocketman, which is based on the life of Elton John. It's got all of his songs in it. It's got some, dancing and, all that sort of stuff. So it's a little different than something that we've been seeing recently, and
Rocketman.
Maybe Grandma will like it. We'll have to find out. Once again, Grandma's back in the theater seeing another movie. I want to remind you, please subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our videos of all of the movies we go and see. And please give it a like that. And also please comment on our videos. It could be a nice comment, a not so nice comment, whatever you want to comment on it. And we will comment on your comment, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
This week, Grandma went to see Rocketman, which is a musical sort of, again, from what we understand, it's based on the life of Elton John. It's not a strict biography, you might say. It has, it's all about his life, his ups and downs and stuff like that.
And his music.
And there's a lot of his music in this movie, but it's again all framed in more of a musical where people start singing and dancing, and they go in different places, and there's all sort of you know what a musical looks like. It looks like a musical. So again, don't take it literally word for word, but it's pretty close to his life, and his life has again been a lot of things going on, needless to say. Again, it starts with him, starting out as a little kid, and then he eventually gets his break, and he gets into stardom and such. But he gets addicted to drugs and alcohol and partying too much, and that messes up his life. And again, also he's gay, and this is again back in the 70s, and then things weren't so easy for him until he came out and made it more really part of his life that people knew. And so again, he had a lot of problems in his life. But again, as we all know, because since this, that he's still alive, and we know his life has turned out pretty well, and he's turned his life around. But in the film, we have to go through all of this with him, all the difficulties and such. So what did you think of it, Grandma?
Well, the music, of course, was wonderful, very enjoyable. The young man who played Elton John?
Taron Egerton.
Okay.
And he sang most of his songs, although, again, we understand there's a mixture of him singing and Elton John singing in the movie. Just sort of a side note there. Yes, Grandma, go ahead.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It took us and immersed us into this fantastic world that Elton John lived in. Mm-hmm. Partly his creation, because
he created a sort of Elton John character almost. It wasn't his Reg Dwight that he started out as. And
the people that he influenced, in his career. He is definitely very talented musician, both in the writing and the performing aspects. They showed us clips from some of the performances when he was in the film, when his career was was burgeoning, and the performances were fabulous. All kinds of special effects. He sat at the piano and played the music and sang, but there was also a lot of costuming and, dancers who supported him, and it was very enjoyable, I thought. It seems difficult for these performers that we are familiar with, are introduced to, for them to stay out of the trap of the alcohol and the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It seems,
and again, this is back in the 70s when it was
seems
particularly
very
bad.
unusual if we are introduced to a performer who is not caught up in this.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to be the way everybody did it. Everybody, it was acceptable. It wasn't anything hidden under the table or on the table or whatever. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the music. It was very well performed and enjoyable. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought Taron Egerton was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
He did a really good job of Elton John. Again, his singing was really good. His performing was really good. But again, he really made you believe he was Elton John doing all of this, and that's just a fabulous performance by him. And again, I'm a big fan of Elton John's music. I've loved his music and so again, hearing a lot of his songs performed and everything was lots of fun. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of these sort of films where you have to see somebody go down into the depths of whatever it is, an addiction or whatever. It's just I understand, again, it's his life, it's his story, and again, to tell his story properly, you have to get into it.
You have to tell the truth.
Yeah, but again, I enjoyed much more the beginning of the film, where he, was coming up and growing up and becoming a star, and I found all of that much more interesting than the parts where he was going down and getting, drinking and using drugs, and it just was very sort of depressing to see
the low parts.
To see this person who's so talented and has so much going for him go down like that, and it was just very sad to see. However, again, as I say, part of his life. You have to show it well, and they showed it well. It's just, again, I think anybody seeing it will be a bit depressed by having to see him go through all of this. But again, I think it was quite well done. It's one of the better movies we've seen this year, I would say. What would you say, Grandma?
Definitely.
What's your rating on it?
This is a thumb and a half. It's a very good film. Yeah. Well performed. The music is fabulous. It kind of took me back to the 70s. I did live through the 70s, yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah, everybody did.